Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. I'm in a pretty good mood. I've had a few comments and feedback and recently, messages and stuff like that on email and on YouTube. Just a couple of people, not much, just a few that are getting something out of these videos. And it's nice to get direct feedback like that. It's nice to know that these are really working. So here's one just for the hell of it. It's going to be just basically a short update on my progress so far. It's been a while since I've talked specifically about my tinnitus. And I'm sorry if the mic's a bit off. I'm still struggling to set the noise gate settings right. It varies depending on everything. I've got to get some padding and stuff for the room and then do it out like a proper studio so it'll look a bit more professional and hopefully sound a bit more. But anyway, sidetracked already and we're about 30 seconds in. So just a little update on my tinnitus. There's nothing impressive to report really. Just since I've been making these changes just before the new year, trying to relax more, I say meditation, just my main thing that I do. The primary bit that I do. I had a few tricks and tips and that I picked up from Julian's videos, and that fit well with my understanding of the body. And looking more at the nervous system and stuff like that, it becomes pretty straightforward. There's a billion ways you can go about calming it down and getting the nervous system to back off. The most common ones that we recommend, me and Aid and whoever else is making videos on these, talking about how we can improve. The most common techniques really are just meditation types of things, tai chi, yoga, things where, and it's very important how you do these as well, but basically these relax you. These calm the body. This isn't like a workout, it isn't an exercise routine. You won't get points for effort just for hammering through as many reps as you can with yoga or whatever. The idea is to relax, and you don't necessarily have to do an activity specifically for it. The idea with this stuff is to get you to be more and more in a calm, relaxed state, switching on the parasympathetic nervous system, and spending more of your day like that. That's the basic point. So that is the main thing I do, is that just I try to be aware of my stress and stuff like that. I try to break through the freeze response, and I've got a little trick that I do to do that, so I'll explain that in a bit. Might take another video, really. It'd be kind of cool like that. Anyway, so yeah, I spend most of my day trying to lean towards that more relaxed state. And doing meditation, Julian's body awareness exercises, they're really good. They're the first thing that I use to get me to keep nudging myself in the right direction. It got me out of my head. It got me being less cerebral and thinky and overanalyzing, because that will tend to stress you. It's a symptom of the stress response, and it will keep it bloody going. So I don't recommend doing that. Like I say, my advice is always try to think of the world in a more childlike manner. Simplify things, Take the confusion out of it, because if things are complicated, it gets hard to do. If things are easy and convenient, it's very simple, and that's why the advice I'll tend to give will be, take up Tai Chi. Take up Qigong, I don't know how it's pronounced. But, relax more. Do meditation, get craniosacral therapy, these sorts of things. I won't recommend acupuncture and stuff like that. They seem a little bit too subtle in what they do. Eastern medicine's good for addressing this type of stuff. That approach, it seems to encompass these bits. I mean, they call it chi or whatever, which is a bit much for most people, but the point is the same. All this stuff is the same, Those types of treatments are very different from a pill or a surgery. Those types of things, Western type approaches, they're very hardcore. They have a very powerful effect on the body, but both good and bad. A lot of the time it tends to be bad. This is why so many people that have different medications, they can have some really nasty effects on their tinnitus, and a doctor won't be able to explain why, or say, that shouldn't be doing that. You're just worried about it. I read one bit earlier, actually, because I was looking through a few different medications and stuff. And I read one bit from that. No, that shouldn't be doing it. It's all in your head, which to me is just, I'm sure most of you feel like it. Just, what a prick, with the doctors and that. It's not nice to be told you're just fucking crazy with this stuff, because it's not true. There are physical things going on to cause the tinnitus that are affected by emotional and mental factors. That's why I recommend the meditation and things like that so strongly, because it cuts to the chase. You don't have to worry about the exact details of, this bit is making this out of whack and that. No, just do the main bit, hit the big core stuff, and don't worry about the details. So yeah, I was supposed to be doing an update. I've wandered off into just recommending this stuff again. But like I say, anything that helps you be calm. And let me paint this very clearly. There's a big difference between relaxing and distracting yourself. I have a big problem with that. Or I used to. I am getting better at it, but I would try to relax myself by, like, you know, playing a video game, watching a movie, that type of thing. And while doing it, I would be anxious and restless and all thinky, and my mind was not on the thing I was doing. And the reason why I've been trying to do this stuff is, like I say, I try to simplify the world. I think, okay, what did I enjoy doing before I got the tinnitus? You know, back when I was 20, whatever. And I try to do those activities, but I'm not the same person I was then. I'm physically built different, it will have a different response. So the idea is to get into a state more like that. Let's say I draw on happy memories from childhood because it's such a simple thing, so straightforward to do, and yeah, it'll definitely take another video to cover that a bit, I think, because I think it'll warrant going into some detail so you guys can pick from that, whatever. But yeah, so like I say, update about my tinnitus. I'm doing that stuff. I'm making more of a point of doing the meditation early in the morning. And I don't know whether it's just a mental thing, you know, you sit in the position, you immediately feel a bit more zen-like, or I do anyway, it just makes me feel like it's significant. And like I've said in the comments a lot of times, I don't think the key point with this stuff is the physical thing you're doing, you know, whether it's doing the exercise right with Qigong or whatever. The point is the mental stuff, and there's a lot of merit to the physical side of it with those things, but for the most part, I recommend go on YouTube, find a video you like, and copy that. And when you're doing the activities, always, always, always have your focus on being more calm, less in the head, more relaxed. Just breathe and relax. Try to break through that freeze response. Try to feel what's going on in your body. And I will do another video going into a few tricks that I do to do that. But Julian's body awareness exercises are really good for that. So yeah, do that. Do the exercises, or just sit and relax. I do a lot of my, you know, work, I guess you'd call it, laid down in bed at night, you know, because you're already tired. If your circadian rhythm is reasonably balanced, and for a lot of you it won't be, so fair enough. But if it is, you know, your sleep pattern's fairly stable, then at night time can be a really good time for doing it, because all of your stress hormones will be low. It will be easier to get into that state. And what I found is recently, a few weeks back, I couldn't really get into the relaxed state during the day. I had to wait for nighttime when you know, like I say, all the stress hormones, cortisol, all that stuff, they were lower. And it would allow me to physically fall into that state easier. And thankfully, I'm dead right in this. You get better at it the more you practice. You know, physically, you line up better able to do it. You get good at it, basically. Able to drop into that relaxed state. It is almost a habit we have to practice. We have to unlearn being in the stress state, and we have to relearn being in a relaxed one. Because the relaxed one is the natural place to be. It's the stressy one that's not. And a lot of people will struggle with that, I think. But anyway, where the hell was I at? I'm getting worse at these, I really am. I'm not doing so good. But anyway, yeah, sod it. I'm going to check where I was at, because I really have gotten lost. See you in a moment. Right, okay, I think I've got it. So, basically, I could only do that stuff at night, when all the factors were in my favour physically. Like I say, I was the most tired, naturally the most relaxed, the stress hormones were down, I was calmer, it was easier to drop into calmer states. During the day, when the stress hormones were up, that was very hard to do. But recently, I've been getting good at it enough at night that it's starting to have a bit more impact. Generally, I'm calmer throughout the day. I'm spending less of my time up here thinking, more time physically being and relaxing. And because of that, I feel I can really start to take advantage of other things that can get my body into a more relaxed state. Meditation, because typically when I do those sorts of things that I recommend, it sounds terrible, but when I try to do them, I tend to get restless, which says it all about me needing to learn to do this stuff more. You know, it says it all about me needing to do that stuff and practice it and get better. But like I say, for the most part, I kind of viewed it as, well, the main point is to relax more. I should focus on that, not on whether I'm doing a meditation right or, you know, a yoga exercise or whatever. And that's what I did, and I have had great results with that. Like I say, there's an infinite number of ways you can go about healing. There really is. Any way that works for you, we'll do it. But I do highly recommend that stuff, in spite of the fact I haven't utilized it too much. Mainly I did that stuff to help nudge me in the right direction. I plowed through with it when I was really suffering, and that got me enough wiggle room to start to calm down. And then when the tinnitus backed off, yeah, it was a lot easier to relax then when I knew it was working. It really was. And, you know, things have not snowballed since then. They've kept going. They've kept going in that direction. But yeah, so like I say, because I'm getting better at it, I'm starting to be able to sneak into that state during the day. And what I'm doing now is I'm meditating more or less first thing in the morning. I try to set myself up right for the day by doing that stuff early in the day, so that I'm already better balanced. You know, if not brilliantly so, I'm better than I would be without it with the meditation stuff, and I'm able to relax more. And what I do, basically, this is really good for overcoming the freeze response in my case. Some of you it might work the same with, it should do. It helps overcome that intrinsic memory thing I've mentioned before. And I hope I've got the name right this time, I probably haven't. It's just not sticking, I don't know why. But yeah, to overcome that, we need to focus on positive things. We need to take in more positive stimulus. And the easiest way to do that is draw on memories from when we were more in a relaxed state, more positive. Childhood is a really good example. That's why I keep mentioning it, because our memories from childhood tend to be so strong. And there's reasons for that. The brain, it vibrates slower and all that. Things hit home more. It's why kids learn stuff so quickly. Like, they pick up accents, they pick up speech without an accent, that sort of stuff. The brain is really receptive at a young age. Those memories tend to be really, really powerful. So I tend to use that stuff. I don't know if many of you will relate to it. Give it a try. Like I say, a lot of it will seem silly. That's the point. Our subconscious minds don't work the way our conscious minds do. We've got to change our approach to reconnect, to get it to work. So yeah, this trick is really good for it, and I will do another video, I think, where I'll go through the meditation. I'll go through it, I'll explain what I'm doing mentally and emotionally, and see what I can do. But yeah, so for the time being, the short summary is, basically, I put the Pokemon theme on. Any 90s kids out there watching will know exactly what I mean with that theme tune. It sends it's like getting hit by a bolt of lightning, just boom. It's that powerful and visceral in emotion. It takes me straight back to being sick. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it now, It's crazy. It's that powerful, like I say, such a silly thing. But music's great for this stuff. It can help get you straight into that. For the most part, I do recommend music without words. And there's a lot of brainwave type music stuff that you can use. Anything that ramps up the, I think it was the alpha state. It's been a while since I brushed up on my brainwave knowledge. But yeah, so anything that triggers a memory in you, a positive one, a nostalgic feeling, a calm, relaxed feeling. Any silly memory, and man, it sounds like I'm teaching you to fight dementors or something. It's getting into funny territory, but again, it's going to. We need to talk to the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind. And it's tricky to do. It really is, especially with most of us will have quite a strong version of the freeze response going on. It makes feeling stuff really hard. Since I've been doing this type of meditation, I've been connecting more with stuff. It feels like I'm getting more out of the things I'm doing. TV shows that I like are more enjoyable. I'm laughing out loud harder at them. I'm less repressed emotionally. I'm tuning into the positive things in life more and more. I'm having some slight financial issues, but I'm optimistic about dealing with it, as opposed to negative, as opposed to worried and, what am I going to do? Now it's just, got the YouTube thing going, do more guitar covers, teach people guitar. There are lots of options available, that sort of thing. It's a very different outlook, and I put it all down to doing this type of, I don't know what you'd call it, childlike meditation. It's working really well for me. So yeah, like I say, I'll put the Pokemon theme on, takes me straight back to being 6 years old, and everything's great and wonderful. A lot of you won't feel the same way, but the point is drawing your own memories, your own, whatever triggers that emotion in you. And then I just sit, meditate, in whatever position, lie down, anything that's comfy. Typically, like I say, I will use the meditation sort of sitting position because it just makes me feel more in that state. Which, whether it's physical or mental or, I'm just fooling myself, doesn't matter. Has the same physical response. It works really well. So I recommend very strongly giving that a try for any of you. Just put on whatever bits of music and put it on quietly. You don't want to be too focused on that. But put it on quietly. It'll help mask the tinnitus as well when you're doing this stuff. So, killing two birds with one stone. So yeah, quiet level, just enough to help trigger that emotion in you. And then just try to be mindless. Relax. Let that feeling run over you. We don't have to do anything clever here. You just got to feel more. It will put you more in the right physical state. And since I've been doing this, my tinnitus it's been staying on the low end of its variation, which normally means it's about to spike again. It's a pattern. It goes up and down, but like I say, over time, the peaks get lower and lower, And yeah, it's been louder this morning. But what I found really interesting, it's been a few days of it being pretty damn quiet. And this morning it was louder, but only in the left ear. The right ear is pretty quiet, which is very significant to me, Because before I had the spike 9-10 months ago, whenever it was that it happened, I can't really remember now, it's been a while. But yeah, before I had that spike, I basically only had tinnitus in the left ear. There was a very quiet bit in the right that I was aware of if I listened, but basically I had tinnitus in the left ear. And it's been more like that today, which is very interesting, I think. I think that's a good sign of progress, even if it's fairly loud in the left ear. Doesn't matter, it will come back down. It always does. And like I say, doing this stuff, just really breaking through the freeze response, connecting with the body, feeling those emotions, feeling calmer, more optimistic. I can tell it's breaking the intrinsic memory thing, you know, some people might call it emotional release, which sounds very Zen-like even for me, you know, I don't really like that term, but I guess it's accurate. We're letting go of the habits we've developed, the stressful habits, the experiences we've got that keep us in a stressful state. You know, there's a reason why it's like it. If you went near a forest, you know, hunter-gatherer type environment, if you went near a forest and a tiger jumped out, if you survived, you would probably be very wary of forests. And you'd be stressed anytime you went near one. And I stuttered there, sorry. But yeah, it works so simply with this stuff. And it sounds nuts to try to explain it. Because it's just really simple. You know, these things, there's nothing too complicated to it. We just have to relax more. We have to break through the freeze response, get the emotions out, deal with them, and just learn to relax more in the day. Learn to be more optimistic. And it's hard to do, it really is, when the ringing's that bad. I know a lot of people watching are in that state. Like I say, I've been there. I have a diary of my tinnitus when I got the spike, you know, and I was avoiding putting the emotional stuff in it. I was being technical. You know, I was trying to be cerebral and look at things technically and analyze it and deal with it, which, you know, is part of what kept the response going, but it gave me hope. It kept me sane during that time and allowed me to just keep plowing away, looking through things. And even though my writing on it is fairly, what's the word? Yeah, I was being technical with it, you know, just, today had jaw in this position, not good, you know, that sort of thing. That kept me sane, and even though I was being very, you know, reserved in writing that stuff, I could sense the fear. And it blows my mind every day that I'm not in that dark state anymore. It really is unbelievable. And like I say, to have it, whatever signs of progress, you know, just, these are all little signs. And there's nothing, for me personally, I got a lot of emotional crap to deal with, I think, basically. And I'm not going to get a big eureka moment where all of a sudden tinnitus is gone. I think for me, it's just going to be a gradual case of breaking through, getting in the calmer state, and keeping going. And eventually, over time, my tinnitus will disappear. It probably will get quicker as I get more used to that relaxed state. But like I say, I really don't worry about the time frame, you know, because I know it's getting better. It's getting constantly better, in spite of the spikes and all that. The spikes are just spikes. It goes up and down with the nervous system variation. It's going to happen in all of us. It's perfectly natural. Not something I worry about. I just focus on the fact that month by month, it's definitely not getting worse. It seems to be getting better. So yeah, I think that's more or less it. I will do a video on, you know, my meditation with it. But yeah, that's my update. I'm still improving, you know. I'm still having spikes, you know, still having my louder days, but it's still getting quieter, constantly. So yeah, that's about it. Nothing really impressive there. I hope it's not too rambly. I think this one definitely was a bit rambly. Anyway, they normally are, so I hope it's not too bad for you guys. And yeah, that's about it. Probably do another video soon. I've got another one to upload that I've already recorded. That's about it. So I hope you're all doing well, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.